Alright, so I want you all to sort of ignore this interesting setup I've got going on here. I'm kind of recording from my lounge room floor with a microphone that is, yeah, very, very echoey, so ignore that. But basically, there's been some very interesting news come out over the last couple of days in regards to Konami really fucking up. Like, exceptional levels of fuck up. So, I wanted to cover it because I thought it was incredibly funny to show. And yeah, so let's just get started. So you've probably heard of a Tier 0 format before. Something like the Tier Limit meta in Master Duel or the Tier Limit meta in TCG, OCG, where Tier Limit just sort of took over the game. You've probably heard of things like maybe the Zodiac format, which was Tier 0, took over the game, was just the most popular deck by a long shot. In Duel Links, we've had things like your Orcust meta, we've had things like your Tachyon meta, and it's kind of a bit of a up in the air as to what the actual definition of Tier 0 is. Some people think it's sort of a 60-ish% representation of top cuts. Some people think it's like a 65%. Some people think it's 70%. But have you ever heard of a 100% format? This goes beyond Tier 0. This is Tier -1. Well, Konami have outdone themselves. They've created the first ever in any Yu-Gi-Oh format ever, the first ever Tier -1 format, where there is literally one deck that is playable and nothing else can sneak in. Zero decks. This is the current Goha Cup. If you don't know what that means, basically, Master Duel has the Duelist Cup, Speed Duel has the KC Cup, and Rush Duel has the Goha Cup. This is the top 100 decks from the Goha Cup, which is, well, as you can see, this pie chart's looking less like a pie chart and more than just a picture of an archetype. Basically, this Gaia, Materion, or whatever you want to call it deck, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, it just took over the game completely. They recently added the Gaia skill to the game as a free addition to the game. It was meant to be this, like, It's so funny to think about. They added this free-to-play structure deck to the game that every single person in the player base got. They gave us all a free skill that everyone got. And it was meant to be this cool little thing where just like, let's get all these new players into the game by giving them a free deck completely for free, and it's really powerful. And they made it a bit too powerful to the point where it is the only playable deck allowed. So it might look like there's a couple of other decks here that sort of snuck in, but you'll notice they're all the same archetype, Gaia Materion, or just Gaia and Gaia Hero Materion. It's all the same stuff. I guess Hero is slightly different variant, but they're all playing the exact same skill. And if you go through the actual top 100, this list isn't completely finished yet, but you'll notice it's just all the same archetype. Literally every single one of them is just playing the exact same cards, with a couple of little twists here and there. Someone was playing some Hero inside of them. There was, I don't really know, I don't really experience enough of this format to know what the exact differences are, but it's all the same shit. The exact same deck for 100 decks in a row, which is crazy to think about, because like if you look at any other tournament top card, there's always just like a couple of decks that sneak in, even a couple of rogue decks or for fun decks that you would never expect to top card. There's always a couple that manage to sneak in every format, in every single KC Cup, every single Duelist Cup. In those 100 decks, you'd expect someone, one person, just one person, to have snuck in with something else. But no, they've created a deck so unbelievably powerful compared to the competition that your pie chart is just a picture. There is no other flavors in this pie. It's the same flavor. I don't know. I'm completely baffled by this. The things that I find absolutely absurd about it too is the issues with the deck seem to be the exact same issues that caused me to quit the game, or quit the Rush Duel side of Duel Links, basically 3 months after its release. It's all the same problems. Duel Links, when they added the Rush Duel to it, they took the 8,000 life points from the IRL card game of Rush Duel, and they reduced it to 6,000 for Duel Links, which was a really weird thing to do, because it made it so that, well, you just kind of die really quickly. It's not kind of the same as when they released the Speed Duel Master Duel comparison, where they reduced the life points that way, because it kind of made sense when they reduced the whole like game size down. They didn't really do that for Rush Duel. It hasn't been reduced, so they just reduced life points, but didn't reduce the actual, like, how the game works. If anything, they made it more powerful because they added skills to the game, so it just made it so that killing you is really, really, really easy. And also, there is no interruption. There's no disruption. For some reason, when Rush Duel was initially added to Duel Links, everyone was thought, oh, they're just not adding trap cards or not adding really powerful effect monsters or something, because they wanted to make it so that for newer players coming into the game, it's easy to learn, easy to understand. They don't have to worry about things too much. They don't have to play around things. But eventually, over time, as the game gets a bit older, they'll add some disruption, right? They'll add some interaction. It won't just be ooga booga smack face the entire time, right? They're gonna... Nope. It's been the exact same way since the game's release. It's just big monsters hit face into low life point counts, and the only interruption you get is 2 trap cards. That is it. This is your entire... Imagine playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the only interaction you've got in your deck is 2 traps. What? This hasn't changed since the game was released? It's still the same? 2 trap cards is your disruption? Some people managed to seek in this buffered slime to make a 3rd trap card, but it's just 2 to 3 trap cards. That is your entire deck's worth of disruption. And the thing is, most of these trap cards aren't sort of used on summon effects. They're like battle phase trap cards, so it means that, well, it's basically like mirror forces. If your opponent just removes them before you get to battle phase, well, they didn't do anything. And that's the issue with these decks, because all these decks, they've added a bunch of backer removal really easily into them via, the fusion monsters, like this Materion monster, which looks awfully similar to the Cyber Angel card. But anyway, this thing, it can just destroy one face-down card on your opponent's field. So, if your opponent's just playing one of the only 2 viable trap cards in the game, pop that, oh, guess I'm dead, because that's the only interruption I have to stop you killing me. It's just crazy to think about. The exact same problems have never been fixed. It's sad to think this came from this whole current issue, this current tier -1 issue, came from Konami trying to solve one of the problems with Rush Duel, being that it's just really expensive to play. I don't know why anyone would take the gems away from Speed Duel to then have to play Rush Duel as well. Speed Duel is already an expensive format, let alone splitting the gems between 2 of them. So they created this, free-to-play deck to play in one of them, and they made it a tier -1 deck that has completely removed everything from the format. And the thing is with this deck as well, is I was trying to get to the comments, because the comments were sort of what I'm getting to here. There we are, hang on. I was trying to find one particular comment. I don't know if it's still here. It might have been too long ago. But it's the first time in history of the game, the top 100 out of 100 spots is the exact same deck. It's actually crazy. Literally a tier beyond tier 0 format. It is actually absurd. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. I just wanted to make a quick video showcasing it, because I just think it's so unbelievably funny how badly Konami has treated this format. I don't know how they've... how could they have treated this format any worse? It is bizarre how badly they've mismanaged it. It could have been the easiest slam dunk, but they've just added it to the game, made it incredibly expensive, made it so that there's just no actual interaction between games. I was trying to look for the comment, because there's a comment that was talking about the, most people had to play over 200 games because there was no skill expression in this format whatsoever. It's just who got to play the most games, which is always an issue with speed format, with the Duelist Cup and KC Cup formats, is it's always just about who can play the most games, not necessarily about the highest win rates. Luckily with the latest Speed Duel dueling KC Cup, we had Salad, and the top deck actually had an insane win rate to show that you can actually climb the KC Cup with insane win rates. It is something that can be done. But a lot of the time, people just get there by playing 200 games or something, and it's very little skill expression. Just whoever gets the most points just by playing the most games is just how you get there. And this was a very, very big example of that, where almost everyone in the top 100 was just whoever managed to play the most games was at the top. That's just sort of how it worked. It's a disaster, a complete disaster. For what should have been a big slam dunk, adding a free-to-play deck for everyone to play that's powerful enough that everyone can play it to the game, and they completely flopped it. They just I honestly can't believe this. I can't imagine actually queuing up a game and guaranteed facing the same deck, because then nothing else works. It's beyond ridiculous. So, and the thing is with oh god, this makes it even worse. The thing with Rush Duel is, because of how their release dates work, they release more speed content than Rush content. So I don't even know when the next Rush box would be. It could just be this is the format for the next 3 months in a format that's already dead as shit. Like, it's going to die even further. For something that was meant to increase the amount of people playing the game, they might have killed it even further. They've already got events in the game for Rush Duel, which are designed to, something that we don't get in Speed Duel, where they've, like, give you trial decks, and they give you, like, events that are designed to try to get people, like, gain 700 gems just for playing 7 games on the ranked ladder. Like, imagine doing that in Master Duel. It's just not a thing. And they don't do it for Speed Duel either. But for the Rush Duel side, there are so little people playing it. They're already trying to do things like plus 700 gems for playing 7 games just to try to get people to please play their format. And they did this. They did this to it. So, yeah, that's just about everything I wanted to say about for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you guys think they might eventually fix this? Have we finally run out of copium for this format? Can we all just agree it was a mistake, it was dumb, it's unsolvable, increase the life points, make it free, do whatever you want to do to it, just, yeah, stop wasting our time with whatever they're currently doing. Fire whoever's in charge of Rush Duel currently, because it has been mismanaged into the absolute ground. This is ridiculous. Tier -1. Congratulations, Konami. You've done it. You've achieved the peak. You actually cannot make a format any worse than Tier -1. That is an impressive achievement. So, congrats, Konami. Thank you for creating this absolutely abysmal format. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry for this weird camera quality and weird microphone, but hopefully you guys all enjoyed all the same. Laters.